Next on Worcester News Tonight, damage left behind in central Massachusetts after 2 confirmed tornadoes hit parts of the county. Plus, Restaurant Week is right around the corner, and this year features a handful of new central Massachusetts restaurants. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. After 8 months serving as Senate President, Harriet Chandler passes off the gavel Thursday to Senator Karen Spilka. Chandler took over after Stan Rosenberg resigned the presidency amid allegations of sexual misconduct against his husband, Brian Hefner, and an ethics committee investigation into whether he had enabled his husband's alleged behavior. In March, Spilka had received enough votes to become the next president. Chandler will be seeking a 10th term in the Senate in November. Almost 1 month into Massachusetts' new fiscal year, Governor Charlie Baker signs the nearly $42 billion spending package into law Thursday. The state's fiscal year began July 1st, but a budget was not agreed upon until 18 days later. Governor Baker vetoed almost $50 million in spending from the plan. He also rejected a proposed pilot plan to discount tolls for motorists who commute during off-peak hours. The legislature ends formal session for the year on Tuesday, giving the legislature a few more days to consider veto overrides. Worcester Restaurant Week is right around the corner, and this year new restaurants are making their debut. Beginning Monday, participating restaurants will lower their prices and create a special Restaurant Week menu, offering a 3-course meal for only $25.18. Among the new restaurants participating is Maddie's Bakery and Tap House on Water Street, which just had its grand opening back in June. Owner Adam Hicks named his restaurant after his 2 children, Matthew and Addison. He says business has been great and he's excited to be a part of Restaurant Week.
Restaurant Week, I think it gives people a good opportunity to come check us out. For $25.18, you can get a 3-course meal. We're very excited to be here in Worcester in the Canal District. There's tons of good stuff going on. There's tons of local business down here, local young entrepreneurs, and it's a very exciting time for Worcester.
Restaurant Week runs through August 11th. For a full list of restaurants participating, you can visit WorcesterRestaurantWeek.com. Strong storms across central Massachusetts, now confirmed by the National Weather Service as 2 tornadoes. Wind and rain ripping roofs off buildings and tearing down trees. The trail of damage stretching through several communities. The first tornado hitting Douglas, Uxbridge, and Northbridge. The second hitting Upton. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
A tornado hits Upton early Thursday morning, leaving a path of destruction around Main Street.
The shades were blowing through the window and you heard this noise sound like a freight train.
Trees are uprooted and draped over houses. The roof torn off this 3-story building and tossed to the side. Roberto Souza was inside sleeping.
We went outside. We saw we don't have a roof.
Across the street, John Guilford's truck is crushed by trees. He says the storm came out of nowhere.
The truck is absolutely totaled and my insurance doesn't cover it, so I have no idea what I'm going to do.
The National Weather Service says the tornado in Upton stretched 1 mile with winds around 100 miles per hour.
Tornadoes actually are fairly common in southern New England in the summertime. We get about 3 per year on average.
After the initial shock of the damage wore off, residents are now trying to clean up the mess.
Got insurance people coming out and lots of people who are, around us, friends and family that are signing up to help us.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The first tornado hitting Douglas, Uxbridge, and Northbridge with winds at about 100 miles per hour. This storm's length was almost 4.5 miles long. In Northbridge, trees were uprooted in Pine Grove Cemetery. DPW crews were on scene throughout the day Thursday, working to clean up the mess. Crews say Thursday's humidity made it even more difficult. In Douglas, residents are working to clean up the mess left behind from the early morning tornado. One resident saying he went into panic mode when he woke up to the loud cracking of trees. Our Olivia Lemon has the story.
Rich Fenner looks at the damage left behind to his home.
All of a sudden, just a big whoosh, bang, and things started falling and cracking, and I couldn't find my way out of the bedroom. try to find a doorknob, and it's just like sheer panic.
The Douglas man says he woke up around 2:30 Thursday morning to what the National Weather Service is now calling an EF1 tornado.
What happened had to be over, and maybe it couldn't have been no more than 30 seconds, and everything was just done.
Carl Enos was driving home during the storm and says he didn't expect the strong wind gust. According to the National Weather Service, they reached 100 miles per hour.
The wind was just coming all different way. Like I said, I couldn't see anything, nothing. Just branches and trees, leaves hitting the car, and I'm surprised that none of my windows broke, actually, so.
He and his son came back out this morning to help clean up some of the damage.
I actually didn't know that anything would actually happen. I didn't know. I thought we were just supposed to get rain. It was crazy.
Residents say things could have been a lot worse, but still have a big mess to clean up.
We're just lucky that nothing, again, nobody got hurt. I mean, the houses could be fixed, the car could be fixed.
One of the scariest things I've ever been to.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
We'll have more on this morning's tornadoes coming up in our local forecast. Switching gears now, 2 suspects in court today accused of breaking into a Douglas house where a 15-year-old girl was home alone. Cassie Arsenal reports on how the brave teen managed to get those 2 suspects behind bars.
Morgan Doyle recalled the most terrifying minutes of her life.
He was knocking really hard. I wasn't sure if he was trying to break it.
Showing us step by step what she did when she realized 2 men were breaking into her home.
And then he was trying to pry it open.
And panicking wasn't one of them. She locked her door, called 911, calmly giving the dispatcher a play-by-play.
How old are you, ma'am?
15.
15? Anybody else in the house with you?
No, but I think he has something to break the door.
All right.
She kept her eyes on them from the front door to the back door, and minutes later, they got inside.
I heard footsteps down this hallway.
Morgan then hid under her bed.
It's a very small squeeze. I had to push everything aside and get in, but I was able to get there safely. He was looking through the tarp because of the renovations.
Then, as one of the men was just inches away, help arrived.
And I was relieved when I heard the cops say, put your hands up. I was like, okay, we're good.
The police put an end to the getaway plan thanks to Morgan's description of their car.
He saw the keys and he thought, you know what? I'll grab the keys. If they get back to the car, they're not going to be able to go anywhere. So it was a great move.
28-year-old Matthias Diamond and 60-year-old Joseph Walsh were quickly arrested. Both have a long criminal history. The police chief was amazed at Morgan's calm under pressure.
She did a heck of a job.
Her dad beaming with pride.
She's a tough cookie, and 95 pounds of it.
Morgan more concerned now about whether this could happen again.
What if this happens to someone else who doesn't know?
In Douglas, Cassie Arsenal, Worcester News Tonight.
A Douglas couple is arrested in Sutton Tuesday on multiple drug-related charges. Police say Christopher and Jamie Cole were cooking crack cocaine while driving in their car. Our Chandler Walsh has the details.
It's kind of alarming.
Reaction in Sutton to drug arrests on Putnam Hill Road. Police arrested Christopher and Jamie Cole Tuesday night and say they were burning crack cocaine while driving their car. Their 3-year-old daughter in the back seat.
Especially having a child in the car, a little or 3-year-old child in the car. I mean, that's crazy.
Unfortunately, that's a lot of what happens today with all the drugs that are happening in the area.
Police say the car was swerving and the driver waving towards an officer. Once stopped, the Douglas couple got out of their seats, Christopher Cole hiding on the car floor.
Upon activating the blue lights, he observed a lot of movement inside the van.
Officers noticed a strong smell of propane in the car. They found multiple drugs, including cocaine, and a propane bottle connected to a portable burner. Sutton Police Chief Dennis Toll says the child's presence is unfortunate.
Much like anybody else's reaction, I'm not thrilled to see that, but it's not surprisingly. We see that on a lot of occasions where people are drug dependent and they have children.
People in the area say the situation is sad and a result of a growing drug problem.
The drug problem is it's everywhere. And so it doesn't matter if you live in a suburban environment or an inner city, it's there.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
The man accused of shooting and killing Yarmouth Police Sergeant Sean Gannon has been indicted on several charges, including murder. Sergeant Gannon was killed while trying to serve a warrant to Thomas Latanowicz back in April. His K-9 officer Nero was also shot and seriously injured. Right now, Latanowicz remains held without bail.